Welcome to the Pulse with Peter B. I'm your host, Peter BIANCAMANO. Let's get you to the pulse on everything you need to know. And we are so excited to be at the Pilsner House and Beer Garden, located at 1422 Grand Street in the beautiful city of Hoboken, New Jersey, for what is going to be, a monthly segment here. We're going to be joined a little later on in the show by Krista Stucchio from #FoodPick. She's going to be trying out some menu items here, and then she'll be back next month, or maybe even Daria back next month, we'll see, to try out more menu items. But we're going to be here once a month for the foreseeable future, and we want to thank Pilsner House and Beer Garden for inviting us here. And I'm just like speechless here, because the man to my right is an actual former professional quarterback and Lehigh University standout, I should say. See, I'm nervous here, Nick. I really am.
Well, I'm more nervous than you are.
And that's Nick SHAFNISKY. Nick, thanks for making your Pulse premiere here.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm excited, and obviously heard a lot about you and the family business in Hoboken as well. So I'm excited.
Exactly. Wow, when a pro quarterback can know Biancamano's Deli, we must be doing something right.
Hey, I got to shout it out.
Exactly.
Best in town.
Exactly. And hopefully Nick will be with us whenever we're here at Pilsner House in the future. It's always good to have an athlete perspective on our sports segment. It really is.
Absolutely. I'm excited to share that and go back and forth.
Exactly. All right, Nick. So obviously there's a game coming up. It's some people call it the big game, other people call it the Super Bowl, and it is the Cincinnati Bengals facing the Los Angeles Rams, second year in a row that a team who is hosting the Super Bowl in their stadium is playing in the big game.
How wild is that?
After it never happened before. It's amazing how Cincinnati got here. I think we need to start talking about the Cincinnati Bengals a little bit here. What a remarkable Cinderella season.
Absolutely, and especially two guys from the same college, same university. They're best friends beforehand. They're best friends now, and they're two of the top of the league, and in their respective positions. So you got Joe Burrow, coming off of the nasty injury. We were just talking about torn ACL, torn MCL, damaged PCL, damaged meniscus. How much more can you do to your knee? So Joe coming back and doing what he's doing, second year in, and then obviously with the core that he has around him with Joe Mixon and the skill positions, it's going to be exciting to see what they can do against the LA Rams defense.
Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely. And speaking of LA, they have the talent, I should say. They certainly made the moves in the offseason with Von Miller coming in, of course, bringing in Odell Beckham during the season. People expected him to be there, but it wasn't easy.
It was not easy. I will say that. The skill positions that came in are huge, but obviously the big guys that they put on, offense, defensive line, Aaron Donald, Von Miller, two of the best guys, in the trenches there. It's going to be exciting to see. Obviously, the Bengals' offensive line is shaky. I think Joe got sacked 9 times last game or game prior, so it'll be exciting to see them go back and forth. I think it's going to be a high-scoring match, and we'll see better quarterback wins, in my opinion.
Yeah, unbelievable. Now, Nick, you mentioned Joe Burrow's injury, and I do want to spend a little time on this because you and I were talking before the segment started, and I was like I couldn't believe what happened to his knee. You were an athlete. A professional athlete, professional quarterback. How difficult is it to come back from that injury? I know he's young. He was only a rookie when this happened. But the amount of rehab that it took, must have been insurmountable.
Right. And I think I think most of the time it's mental more than physical. I think we have to get over, the humps and the lumps of, what comes with it. And, being a pro athlete and not at the level that these guys were consistently, but a guy like Joe Burrow, he's been the greatest at, every year. So to have a back year, he has to sit back, watch a different quarterback play, and really not do anything for a couple months, that changes your perspective, makes you realize, maybe I am human. And so Joe has to kind of put that in perspective and look what he did the year after.
Unbelievable. Now let's talk about, of course, the other quarterback playing in the game, and that is Matthew Stafford. I feel like everybody's in love with Matthew Stafford because, there were people who were saying, well, he wasted his time, 12 seasons in Detroit. To me, and I'm sure you would agree with me, you don't waste your time playing in the NFL.
No, I can't.
There is a very selective group of players that can actually say they played in the NFL. Anyway, so I think those people need to have a reality check there.
Absolutely.
But obviously, the question remained, was it Matthew Stafford or was it the team around him? First year with LA, he's in the Super Bowl. Of course, they surrounded him with the talent like that I mentioned earlier in the segments.
Right.
unbelievable journey for Matthew.
And it's more than just Matt. You know, everything he came from, Detroit, it's a tough city to play in. You know, the crowd he had around him, aside from Megatron and Calvin Johnson, is, you know, is tough. And, you know, everyone was doubting who he is. Matt Stafford was a first overall pick, you know, so let's call a spade a spade. The guy can ball. The guy can play. You just needed the team around him to do so. And look what he's doing first year in L.A. He's got the cast around him, but he's got a young team, young coach, and, you know, they put it together. So we'll see what happens.
Exactly. I mean, it really is the battle of the young coaches. I feel like they're certainly, you know, showing how prevalent they are. All right, well, you know, I can't have a former professional quarterback on the air here without looking for a prediction for the Super Bowl. Who do you like, Cincinnati, L.A.? I mean, we're a week away. Today marks a week from the big game.
Right,
Like?
and it's tough. You know, for me, I'm just going to come out with it. I hope the Rams win. I have a lot of players that either are my friends or I work with in some capacity. So, you know, I'm pulling for them to get their first Super Bowl ring. And, you know, it's Grant Haley, Sebastian Joseph, you know, Odell, obviously, from being, you know, with the Giants for a couple years. But at the same time, I'm a quarterback, and I like a guy that just goes out and wins, and that's Joe Burrow. You know, they call him Joe Cool, Joe Thorough. You know, the guy's got every nickname in the book, but he comes out with pink shades, and he gets the job done. So that's who Joe is. And, you know, for me, like I said, I hope the Rams win. I'll put a prediction with the score.
You have to. Come on.
So I'll go, I think it's going to be high scoring. I'm going to say Rams 32.
Wow.
Bengals 28.
Wow, that is high scoring.
I know it's a little weird score with the 32, but I think some wonky things are going to happen. It's the Super Bowl, and you know, I'm excited to check it out.
I'm excited too, and we're super excited to have you on the show, Nick. I just have to ask you. You know, we're here at Pilsner House. Of course, we're here, folks, before they open. Usually, this place is jumping. There couldn't be. You can't even get into the door. The line stretches around the corner. So we want to thank the owners for bringing us in before they open today. I mean, you know, you have always said that this is one of your favorite spots in Hoboken.
Absolutely, and for me,
why is that? Talk to me. Yeah.
I want to say more so it's just the place, like, and I don't want to say it's guy versus girl, but, you know, a lot of my guys can come in, you can have a beer. You know, it's family style, so, you know, music's going to always be here. You know, the food is you know, grouped together, I guess I would say, so we can get some platters, pick off each other's, you know, whatever it is. Like I said, they got over 50 beers. You know, they got a heck of a drink menu. And so for us, after a work day, you know, this is a place to wind down, have some fun, watch some sports. You know, we got TVs all over around, so, you know, for me, it's a good little wind down after work.
And it's a great place to come for the Super Bowl as well. Maybe Nick will be here. You're going to have to find out.
Oh, we will see.
Exactly. Maybe he'll have some of his friends that are athletes who shall remain nameless, but
perhaps
will be on the show very, very soon, right?
Absolutely.
See, I'm putting you, like, back against the wall on camera, right?
We're putting it out there.
We're putting it out there, but we're not saying who, Nick.
Nope.
I mean, Nick, this has been, you know, an honor for me to have somebody who actually played professional quarterback. I mean, and, of course, Lehigh University stand out for all you people at home. Google him. You can see all his stats that he did over at Lehigh. And you're actually not going anywhere. You're taking over my show.
Yeah, I'm a little bit more nervous than you are for that, so I'm excited to.
Because coming up next, folks, we have Krista Stucchio from @FoodPick. She's going to be trying some of the menu items here. And who's going to be with her? But my man Nick next to me here. And maybe you'll try it with her or what?
Oh, yeah. Oh, she's going to run the show. I'm going to piggyback off her. Again, I'm as big into food as anybody. She knows her stuff. I'm going to let her go, and you know, I'll chime in when I do.
Well, somebody's got to run the show because Peter B never does.
Nope.
But anyway, Nick SHAFNISKY, thank you so much. We hope to see you in a future episode. We really do.
Thank you, Peter.
Absolutely. All right, folks, as promised, Krista Stucchio from #FoodPick will be here next trying out the wonderful food here at Pilsner House and Beer Garden. We will be right back. Peter Biancamano, your hostess with the mostest of the Pulse with Peter B. Folks, don't forget to go on our Facebook and our Instagram pages by searching The Pulse with Peter B. and like and follow us on each of those platforms. We're constantly updating those pages with previews of each week's segments and cool stories. Also, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to our email address at thepulsewithpeterb@gmail.com.
Hello, we are back. As Peter mentioned, I'm Krista Stucchio from #FoodPick, and I am here with Shaf, also known as Nick, but Shaf is his nickname, and I'm on better terms with him than Peter is, apparently.
Of course. She's lovely.
We are here at Pilsner House, one of my favorite spots. I've had many nights here, a few birthday weekends on my little bar crawls. I don't know if you've done that as well.
Have to.
But love the food here, and I'm ready to talk about this, but more importantly, I'm ready to eat.
I haven't eaten all day, so I'm excited.
All right, what do you want to start with? What are you eyeing most?
It's always women first, so please, you...
All right, we're gonna start with the mussels, because they're right in front of me, and the garlic smell is overwhelming. So,
Gotcha.
Are you the expert on these? Can you tell me more?
Yeah, so these are our beer mussels. Obviously, you're in a German beer garden, have to be made with beer. And then they're sauteed with garlic, parsley, and a little bit of oil. And again, the profession here is we got to have, mix them with some beer, be in a German beer garden. So please dig in.
Yeah, and it comes with this giant pretzel.
Right.
Instead of bread, which is like a nice spin.
Do you know where our pretzels are from?
No, please tell me.
From Bavaria, straight from the country.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, you're gonna eat these with me?
Of course, they're not just from ShopRite. Got them?
What's from? Oh, they're not from ShopRite.
Nah, these pretzels
Important things to know.
are handmade and special.
All right, I'm just gonna like be messy with this.
Yeah.
I love mussels.
You've had these before?
I actually don't. I don't know if I've had these. If I have, it's been a long time.
Okay.
I can't really see the sauce because we have so many mussels, but my favorite thing to do is just dunk into the sauce afterwards. So
Right.
I'm gonna do this with this pretzel after.
So these beer mussels are actually called Prince Edward Island mussels. I don't know what that means, but there's the name of these special beer mussels.
It's fancy.
Very fancy.
Thank you. All right, we're moving on. The star of the show. Anybody who's ever been to Pilsner House knows the pretzel is the star of the show. I was wrong about this dip.
Right.
I thought it was a pimento dip, but apparently it's not.
It's
so
not.
Please tell us and the people about this dip.
So it's actually spelled Liph Taur, Lift Tower cheese.
Okay.
And it's a cheese that people are familiar with, but it's handmade by us. Over 20 ingredients from farmhouse cheese, jalapeno peppers, capers, parsley. And again, most things that we have in this place is handmade. So I'm excited that you love this, but didn't know exactly what it was.
I have no idea what it was.
Okay.
All I know is I prefer this dip over the mustard.
Okay.
I like mustard.
Sure.
I prefer honey mustard, but this is like, I'm a big cream cheese girl, and it's kind of like cream cheese vibes.
Absolutely. I love that you like honey mustard. I put it on everything. Mm-hmm. Hot dogs, soup, fries,
Big condiment girl.
wings.
Big condiment girl. Wings.
Yeah, oh yeah. Honey,
I gotta try that.
Honey mustard wings?
And then you got these little pickles to wash it down. Perfect balance. Oh, you want to dig into your beer already?
I'm after having the saltiness, I am going to need a little bit of the beer. We'll get into our heavy assortment of beers here as well.
Yeah. All right. We got one more thing on the table here. Bratwurst. I don't know how we're eating this together, but figure it out.
Lady and the Tramp?
We could Lady in the Tramp it.
Okay.
All right. Anything special about this bratwurst?
So this is the staple of the German beer garden. Obviously the pretzels, our most sold food item. But the bratwurst, it's a bratwurst. It's a German sausage, and we have our homemade sauerkraut. Mustard is the same as the mustard that comes with the pretzels, but sauerkraut is it's kind of the staple of the sausage. And if you don't like sauerkraut, I understand, but you will have to put it on when you come here at least one time to try it out for us.
You definitely have to.
Yeah.
All right. I'm loading this up. I'm not even asking your preference.
Please.
We're just going to go.
I'm also a fan of ketchup, but we'll stick with the mustard.
We don't have that.
Would you put ketchup on this as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would put every single condiment that we have
Okay, good.
on the table. Like, I'm one of those people that goes to the hot dog stand and I'm like, onions, chili, ketchup, mustard, like everything that's on the cart is going on.
Same thing with the Philly cheesesteak then.
Yes.
Everything.
Like mushroom, yeah, everything.
Peppers,
the works,
onions, the works. Have you been to Philly?
I'm from there.
Oh, I forgot about
Grew up
that.
outside of Philly, y'all.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said y'all. That's a southern thing, but all right, we're gonna do this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is good TV.
Yeah, this is amazing.
Says Peter. I can't believe we're doing this on camera. This is either gonna make your ratings go up or down. I don't I don't know which one.
Please enjoy.
Cheers.
Thank you.
When the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, that's amore.
All right, so now that we have this ketchup,
Needed it.
important addition.
It's a necessity.
Let's go for it here.
I
By
don't
the
want to
way,
put too much on. So please.
You don't want too much?
A little bit.
All right. I feel like that's a fair amount, right?
Okay.
By the way, I have not really been to the Colo Club much. Can you
Okay.
tell me what you guys have been doing up there?
So the Colo Club is a separate part of the garden that most of our customers don't know about. It's an open event, and you know, we have weddings up there, birthday parties, corporate events, holiday theme parties, and just for a way to get out of the restaurant-esque, you know, of our beer garden here, and just have a more you know, private loungy type of feeling to it. We have a very nice bar upstairs, and then, you know, space for around 150, 200 people to, you know, have any type of party.
That's a lot of people.
February 13th, Super Bowl watch party. Make sure you're here. We'll have a lot of prizes, giveaways, drink specials, food specials. So
Love it.
It'll be a good time up there.
Yeah, and I actually have seen a few people that I know have weddings up there, and I am excited about it because I am a photographer and I like to photograph smaller weddings. So putting this out into the universe, maybe I'll be photographing one soon.
Please.
I think we
Please.
should cut it now. We're
We can cut it.
getting a little messy
That's
here,
not as
but
fun, but
go for it.
that's fun.
Okay, so many amazing things to try at Pilsner.
Yep.
Always wash it down with one of these big boys.
Please. Do you know what you're drinking?
It's a Pilsner something.
Pilsner House Original. There you go.
Okay.
That's actually from Germany. We get it imported right over. This is our house beer. This is our most sold beer. This is my favorite beer. It's a lighter / you know, medium roast beer. And
Yeah.
again, for me, I don't like anything too heavy, so this is going to be interesting for me. This is one of our
He was given the
Oktoberfests.
heavy beer.
I had to take it, but cheers. Enjoy.
Cheers. You know, I once won a contest holding the beer. Yes. I'm not
Here?
kidding you. It was
Here?
like one of the first times I was ever at Pilsner, and I beat all these really strong men, and I won this giant t-shirt, and don't really remember much of the rest of the night. But it was a really good time, and I got to beat the boys, so
Had you coming back as well?
yes. Well, before we wrap up, do you have like a favorite dish that you like to order from Pilsner?
I do, and they probably don't want me saying it.
Uh-oh.
It's the fried chicken sandwich.
Why would they not want you to say that? It's not authentic?
It's not that German, you know, type of vibe. But I mean this. From the chicken tenders, the pierogies, like I said earlier.
I hear the chicken tenders are amazing too.
It's you know, it's the way our you know, the chefs do it, and it's the crispiness, but also the tender softness on the inside. That it's really probably the best chicken I've had, fried chicken that I've had.
You heard it here first, folks.
All
right.
Definitely check it out when you come.
All right, well, thanks for being here, Nick.
Thank you.
We will be right back. Cheers.
Cheers one more time.
Peter Biancamano back with you. Don't forget to watch us on cable access every Sunday and Monday at 9 a.m. Optimum Channel 18, Files Channel 46, and Comcast Channel 190. Also on Sunday mornings at 9:30 a.m., you can watch our show on our YouTube channel, and you can also binge watch all of our old shows. Who doesn't want to keep watching The Pulse with Peter B? We'll see you there. Welcome back to The Pulse with Peter B. Peter Biancamano, back in the host chair, I should say. The guy to my right is making me all nervous. I can't even speak English anymore. And of course, it's a gentleman that needs no introduction to old Hoboken, new Hoboken, present Hoboken. Did I miss anything, Mike? And that is the Hoboken City Council President, Mr. Michael Russo. How are you today, sir?
I'm doing very well. Thanks for having me, Peter.
Oh, man, I am so excited to be on here. I know we had Ruben on a few weeks ago with that bum Josh Sotomayor Einstein, but we had to put the real deal on the show with you, right or wrong, Mike?
I would have to agree. I would have to agree.
Absolutely. All right, Michael, you've been on the City Council for close to 2 decades.
Correct.
I mean, and this is the first time that you're council presidents. What made you decide to take the helm?
Yeah, you know, it's funny because through all the years, I never really thought that it was the right position for me. In the city of Hoboken, things changed throughout that course of time. And I think right now is a good time for me to be the president of the council because I could bridge the gap that's there. And I think that's really important right now. I think we need to do that not only on a local level, but we need to do that nationally, right? So I think I bring that to the table, and I think we'll be able to achieve a lot this year.
That's fantastic. And Mike, it's certainly not an easy job, as everybody knows. I mean, it's a lot of stress. You know, I'm losing my hair just from doing this show. I mean, you beat me to it, Mike. But anyway, different story for a different time. what is your vision for the next year? Because it is a year position, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
It is. So each council president will serve 1 year, and then the reorganization will happen the following year. But the vision for the year is really to start really bringing council together, really getting a lot of things done. Over the course of probably the last 12 years, there's been a lot of stagnation. The former mayor was able to she wasn't able really to get a lot of things done when it came to diversifying the tax base, getting different redevelopment projects completed. And our current mayor, Mayor Bala, has been doing a great job in his first 4 years, in his first term, of preparing to get that done. And now's the time where we actually get the shovels in the ground. So I'm really excited about doing that. I'm really excited about trying to keep our tax base at the very least stable, if not decrease the taxes for our citizenry, and really get things moving.
Exactly. And you are the veteran councilman. I believe there's nobody on there that has served longer than you. And one of the things that I've always admired about you, and I'm not saying that because we've known each other for 20 years, is how practical you are. And I think the person at the helm needs to be practical, because there's a lot of opinions raging, and half the time it's just people that are playing politics rather than actually coming up with something of substance, correct?
Yeah, you know, and I think that's an evolution for council people, right? I remember when I was first elected, a lot of that politics creeps its way into the policy conversation.
Right.
And I think over years, you start to feel that it's not really worth it, right? So the politics, by all means, take your politics, speak to the press, go on shows like yours, right? Mm-hmm. Say whatever you need to say. But when it comes down to our council chambers and we're trying to get legislation passed, that's when the rubber really meets the road, and you really have to just buckle down and get things done. So hopefully we'll be able to do that a little bit better this year, and see how our council really works together.
Exactly. And already we're barely into the month of February here, and there's already a distraction. As the viewers most likely know at home, Councilwoman Tiffany Fisher filed a lawsuit basically against the city of Hoboken and anybody else that she feels was involved on really a procedural issue regarding campaign donations from unions and PACs. I think it's important that we let the audience know one thing first, and that is what the city council did was to change the limit to what the state says the limit should be, correct?
Correct. So we did that at the end of last year. We allowed for that change if, in fact, there's a current lawsuit in the city of Hoboken, and if that lawsuit comes back in its finality to say that we should be at the state level, that will then enact itself. So there's like this sunset kind of a clause in there, or a triggering clause is what the real term should be. And then that procedural error, or at least perceived error, is what Councilwoman Fisher thought she should file the lawsuit over. So last night at the city council meeting, in an emergency resolution, we passed that at the city council to reintroduce that on first reading so that we could eliminate that procedural error. And again, the sad part for me is that Councilwoman Fisher she's a councilwoman. There was a better way, or at least a different way, that she could have went about it.
Right.
She could have just really came to the council and asked to repeal the legislation without having to file a lawsuit. She could have simply asked us to reintroduce that. So there's a lot of things that I think were done that probably wasn't done in the right way. But again, that's my opinion, and I respect hers. And if that's what she chose to do, that's what she chose to do. But for me, it was important for me to eliminate that procedural error, reintroduced that last night, and at our next meeting we'll vote on second and final reading.
Perfect. And it's important for the audience to know that the councilman was not the council president when this was passed. He just took over in January, and I believe that was passed in December. But I think you hit the nail on the head. I mean, she could have probably just spoke to you, called you over the phone, and we didn't have to waste the city's money on legal fees and all that, correct?
Yeah, and her own money on legal fees, to be honest with you.
Exactly.
And I said that at the meeting last night. You know, it's important for us to move things down the field, so to speak. I really want to see legislation passed, things that we can agree on. We could do that quickly. Things that there might be some questions, we could still probably complete those tasks. And the things that we don't agree on, that's fine. We could put that off to the side until we come to terms with that. But for me, it's all about getting things passed at the council level, making sure legislation is on the table and we're voting on it.
That's fantastic. Well, Mike, another issue that divided the city was the new Hoboken High School referendum. The vote took place about a week and a half ago now, and of course, the no votes won by a 2-to-1 margin, 65 to 35%. As council president, what do you want to see going forward? It divided the community. It pitted neighbors versus neighbors. I mean, and obviously the school board is a different entity, as I know, than the city council.
True.
But as a city council president, as the next in line to the mayor, basically, what do you want to see going forward with possibly a new high school or working with this board of education?
Yeah, I think overall the entire community wants to see a new high school for our students. I think the it's always in the details, right? So I think that's where the divide was. The saddest part about it was that our city was so divided, it became so contentious that one side wasn't even hearing what the other side was saying. And that is never a good equation for anything. So going forward, I think it's important that we as a city come together, first and foremost. Second, I've reached out to the president of the Board of Education. I sent her a message actually today, letting her know that I was going to send her a memo asking to do a joint committee between the City Council and the Board of Education, include the mayor and the superintendent, and let's just talk about the things that we need as a community. Let's get a starting point and then proceed through there. So I'm awaiting her response. Hopefully she will be okay with that, and hopefully we can move forward and get the children of the city of Hoboken exactly what they need for their education, including facilities.
Well, that's fantastic. And I've served with Sharon Angley, who of course is the Board of Education president, and I've always known her to be reasonable. So I hope that the two of you can work together. I
hope
really
so
do.
too.
Well, Michael Russo, council president here in Hoboken, with the fabulous shirt that he's wearing. I'm just wearing a hoodie right now. Thank you so much for coming on.
My
we
pleasure.
hope to see you soon, all right?
Absolutely, anytime.
I mean, the invitation's always open.
Thank you.
Folks, we are at the Pilsner House Beer Garden, located at 1422 Grand Street. Maybe Michael and I will go have a beer. Maybe not. We'll go see what happens afterwards. And we're very, very happy to be here, and we want to thank everyone at Pilsner House for inviting us here. Join us next week for The Pulse on everything you need to know. I'm Peter BIANCAMANO. I hope you have a great week, everybody.